The winter holidays bring a break to work in Congress. The region's representative to the House feels an urgent need to work on at least one project. Democratic Representative Pete Visclosky wants federal support for expansion of the South Shore commuter rail. He sees the greater Chicago area as a population mecca for the next generation, and he wants the rail line to be more accessible in Northwest Indiana. Visclosky told Lakeshore's Jerry Howard that he wants the line to reach into Dyer for its next expansion, which he says needs to be a priority in a limited federal budget.
Well, and you're using the next generation as a part of a focal point to look at the South Shore expansion. We've talked about that before when you were here. Anything new to report in the past month or so, or frankly with the prospective passage of the overall budget? You know, time was of the essence a month ago. I'm guessing that's
time, yes, and time is still of the essence. Answered a question earlier this morning in a meeting we had on the South Shore that I would anticipate that for the current fiscal year, we have not completed our appropriations process, but for the current year, that's already a quarter of the way done. We'll spend about $1.9 billion nationally. I don't think that figure will vary much up or down over the next couple of years, but more and more people are recognizing they need part of that money to invest in transit in their communities, so there will be more competition. But the urgency really is for ourselves and for our children in Northwest Indiana. It is time to make that investment. Under the leadership of Janet Moran, when she was on the City Council in Hammond, we set aside monies to purchase the right-of-way in 1991. That was the last century. And we continue to lose population because our children don't come back. I think we are on track to have a decision made as to how the non-federal match will be raised locally through the Regional Development Commission and through potentially any state participation between now and the end of March.
Do you get any help across state line with Illinois? I wonder sometimes when you're going after federal dollars, this metro, Chicago, greater Chicago, coming across the state line like this, where the Illinois delegates are trying to keep dollars, frankly, on their side of the state line, or if they see the need to just push Chicago south, that there's some interest in it for them to support Northwest Indiana.
I would say that people living west of the state line are helping our argument by having a vibrant economy that is larger than Sweden's, that is energized because they have over 400 miles of rail line. I had a meeting on the South Shore, and the gentleman I was meeting with said the maps, when he looked at them, not that he wasn't a proponent of expanding South Shore, but he said it clarified the issue. And so what is missing on this map if you took away that state line? That we've got to make that investment. So to the extent they have set an example for us, it is helpful to use that example in the discussions we're having.
You are an advocate of looking at the future and looking at sort of city-states, the boom areas booming even larger in the next generation. And that makes sense culturally, and people gravitate that way. Do you see the same with business?
Absolutely. And part of this is getting to and from Chicago. It could be for a job, it could be for your business, it could be for entertainment, culture, sports, relaxation. I see in the longer term that if you create the right environment by coupling that with other types of investment, including recapturing our lakeshore, that gradually you draw that economic activity down to Northwest Indiana. Because the comment you made earlier that when they start looking at the Chicago metro region, you're going to realize that you have this quadrant southeast of the city of Chicago that in relative terms is waiting for an economic explosion. And I think once it starts, it will not stop.
Visclosky is actively working with local communities to get a collaborative effort for the South Shore commuter rail expansion in order to ask for federal funding just as soon as possible.